Hello, lovelies. I hope you're all well. It's Hayley Bath here. I'm a transformation coach and a holistic therapist. And you may or may not have noticed that I sometimes take social media breaks or digital detoxes. And I wanted to show up and explain why I do this, the benefits of this, and perhaps the benefits that you may want to also take on board. So, many of us are addicted to our phones and social media. That little notification bell actually releases dopamine in our brain. So we get that instant gratification and it can leave us wanting and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I mean, how many times have you gone on your phone with a set intention in mind, like I have to do this, and the little notification there is like, hey, come here, look at me, click on me, and you're like, oh yeah, distracted fully. It can be annoying. So another little top tip is to actually turn all your notifications off so that you can take back your power and only go on the app when you feel like looking at your notifications. So several studies have shown a direct link between decreasing the use of social media and improvements in depression, anxiety, loneliness, and not comparing yourself so much to others. There's no doubt about it. Having digital detoxes and breaks from your phone and social media definitely improves your mental well-being and improves your overall mood. Now, I'm not saying like come off of it altogether, but everything in moderation. Just realize that any time we're seeking outside of us, externally, for something to fill us up, it's always going to be a temporary gratification. We're always going to be left wanting more. And whatever it is that we're using externally to fill us up, we already have it inside of us that we can give to ourselves. So if you want to connect to your unconscious mind and find answers that you may not be able to find on a conscious level, ask yourself questions. In the moment when you find yourself doom scrolling, you know, when you're just like a robot, a zombie, and you're like, and you're like 3 hours have freaking passed and you're just scrolling. Ask yourself, what is it I need right now? What need do I need to meet right now? Is it love, connection, variety of some kind? What else could you do? You know, ask yourself, what else could I do right now that's going to fill me up in a positive way rather than your need being met in a negative way? So all in moderation. And also just ask yourself, is it possible for me to have a break? If no, then maybe you are addicted. And ask yourself again, I invite you to. Asking questions is so powerful because you get to be the creator of your life. And if you're just sitting there telling yourself something, then you're just a victim. So go from victim to empowerment when you begin to ask yourself questions. So what could you do differently? Could I have a break right now? Am I possibly addicted? I personally, and I'm saying this out loud because I'm committing to it, I am going to have a break on Monday because I am facilitating and hosting my first ever in-person women's circle with 20 to 25 women down Bondi Beach on Sunday. And I'm going to be going to the drums, going to be dancing, lots of singing, swimming, probably a run on the beach as well. It's going to be a real high. So after a big high, there's usually a bit of a dip and a low because that's just life, you know? So for me, I find social media when I'm in a low just to be detrimental for my health and just to come away from it, because when I'm in a low, I tend to want to just sit in the shit, you know, and I'm like, oh, we'll just sit here. It's like nice and warm in this pile of manure. So just have contingency plans in place for when you have those lows. I have a little list of things that fill me up. Like, for me, when I have social media breaks, the benefits are that I can have more time to be present, more time to actually spend with my little kitten, who I love so freaking much. Look at him over there being just a little freaking cutie. I just look at him like, I love you so much. And I often feel a bit of shame and guilt when I'm scrolling through my phone and he wants my attention. So it's also allowed more time for me to do the things that I love: skate, hula hoop, exercise, what else? practice my guitar, read my book, or sometimes just do absolutely nothing or just watch Netflix. Whatever it is, it actually fills my cup, rather than when I'm scrolling and on social media, I can feel it depleting my energy. So we want to do tasks and we want to have activities that are good for our soul and don't just take all of our energy. So yeah, this also helps with letting go of addictive behaviors, becoming aware of them, raising that awareness to other bad habits and addictions, because when we find one and we see the pattern, we can often then see other bad habits and addictions and just negative habits and behaviors, and then we can actually consciously see them so we can actually choose a different path. You know, all a bad habit or addiction is you think of it like a freshly laid ski slope that you've gone down and you've made a groove, you've gone down again and again, you've picked that same path, say smoking, okay, you've picked it up once, twice, 3 times, you've now done it a week, 2, that's now a habit, that's now a bad addiction. And all we're doing is actually changing our neuro pathways in our mind when we say, we're going to do it differently today. You know, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. And becoming aware and more conscious can be a blessing and a curse, because you're like, shit, now I can see it. I have to do something about it. Sometimes you're like, I actually prefer just keeping my head stuck in the sand. But now you do get a choice. You can either consciously continue to go down that same path where that groove is so thick, so deep in the snow, or you can just allow the snow to cover that path up and choose you've got the whole 360 view. You can turn around, you can take a completely different path. But if you don't consciously choose something positive, your mind will usually go to another negative habit. So let me know how this sits for you. Reach out if you want help or support. And if you're ready to take a social media break, or if you feel like, oh no, I could never do that, share in the comments or reach out. Sending you so many blessings, so much love, and have a beautiful weekend.